the land of the rising sun is known not only for its technological achievements and rich culture but also for its mysterious megaliths, the origins of which still raise many questions. I will tell you about many of them today. For example, a very impressive find is the Masuda no Iwafune megalith, located in Nara Prefecture. The megalith is a giant stone monolith, about 36 feet long, 26 feet wide, and 15 feet high. The weight of the megalith. Think about it. Approximately 17,000 pounds. The surface of the object is adorned with 2 square holes, and the top part itself is flat, which makes the megalith unique among other similar structures. The purpose of Masuda no Iwafune remains a mystery. Some researchers suggest it was an ancient astronomical observatory, while others believe it to be an object of ancient worship. Another mysterious object worthy of our attention is hidden underwater. I'm talking about the famous underwater terrace formations near the Ryukyu Islands. These structures are found in significant concentration near Yanaguni Island. Discovered in 1985, these massive underwater structures resemble step pyramids and platforms. Some scientists consider them natural formations, while others are convinced of their artificial origin, suggesting the existence of an ancient, sunken civilization. Yes, you heard right, and here too, people have drawn parallels with Atlantis. One of the most famous and mysterious places in our story today is the Oya Stone Quarry, located near the city of Utsunomiya in Tochigi Prefecture. This quarry is known for its enormous underground halls and tunnels, created during the extraction of the unique volcanic tuff of Oya stone. Some of these underground spaces reach heights of 100 feet, creating the impression of a grand underground city. Interestingly, the quarry walls have extraordinarily smooth surfaces, raising questions about the methods used to process them and the possible use of advanced technologies in ancient times. I think no one would argue with the statement that there are a great many mysteries surrounding the megaliths, spiced with conspiracy theories and scientists' hypotheses. There is no consensus on the ownership of these objects. Except perhaps with the Olai Stone Quarry, it's more or less clear, but even here there are secrets. I think you're interested in learning more about Japanese megaliths, so I'll tell you about some of them in more detail. A superficial overview won't be enough here. So, Ishino Hoden. At first glance, it seems that this giant stone is just hovering over the lake, defying all the laws of physics. In reality, it's all about a clever optical illusion. At its base, there's a carved stone pillar that is hidden from view at ground level. But who created this monumental object and why? Ishino Hoden is carved from a single piece of volcanic tuff. Its dimensions are mind-boggling. 21 feet wide, 18 feet high, and 23 feet thick. It weighs about 550 American tons. This is comparable to the weight of 7 tiger sharks, or about 5 fully loaded trucks. The shape of the megalith is unusual. 2 massive rectangular blocks are connected together, with one small pyramid-shaped protrusion. It gives the impression of either being an unfinished work or part of a complex mechanism that has lost its function. Who created it? So far, even the most seasoned scientists are asking the same question. Laser 3D scanning conducted from 2005 to 2006 confirmed its artificial origin. But neither the date of its creation, nor the technologies used to process the rock, nor its purpose have been established. But it's not all bad. Where scientists are powerless, mythology comes to the rescue. According to Japanese myths, the gods Okyunanushi and Tsukunobikona tried to build a stone palace at the site of the megalith in just one night. But their plans were thwarted by local spirits, and the construction had to be stopped. Ishino Hoden amazed not only the Japanese. In the 19th century, the German naturalist and traveler Philipp Franz von Siebold included the megalith in his book on the history and culture of Japan. He left 3 detailed sketches of this mysterious object, confirming that the stone was already considered a historical mystery at that time. How could ancient craftsmen work such a massive stone with such precision? Why was space left around it, enough for one person to pass through? Was it a cult object, part of ancient architecture, or something entirely different? To this day, Ishino Hoden remains one of Japan's most astonishing archaeological mysteries. And while scientists continue to search for answers, it continues to attract researchers, tourists, and mystery enthusiasts from all over the world. Masuda Novafune, which I mentioned earlier, is located in Osaka Park. This park is situated on the island of Honshu in Naro Prefecture. Its uniqueness lies in the fact that it has gathered a rather impressive number of other equally impressive megaliths. Describing all of them would be too costly, and not every one of them features fine and complex craftsmanship. Therefore, I will focus on just a few. Take a look at the megalith named Sakafun, Ishi. This object is a stone slab with channels and depressions carved into its surface. At first glance, it seems that these channels were intended for water drainage, but their true purpose remains unclear. Some researchers suggest that Sakafun Ishi was used for ritual purposes, possibly related to purification or sacrifices. However, the lack of written sources from that time leaves these hypotheses at the level of speculation. Another impressive artifact of the park is the Asuka sarcophagus. This granite sarcophagus impresses with its perfect symmetry and polish. It gives the impression that ancient craftsmen possessed technologies surpassing the capabilities of the primitive tools of that time. Unfortunately, access to this object is limited, and only a few photographs allow us to appreciate the craftsmanship of its creators. This restriction only fuels the interest of researchers and ancient history enthusiasts who are eager to unravel the secrets of this sarcophagus. Some of the megaliths in the park are roughly hewn stones of enormous size, which, according to archaeologists, were used for burials. Here, for example, is this object. Quite unremarkable compared to the previous examples. But here arises the same question as with the Egyptian pyramids. How did the ancients people move and set up these massive boulders without modern technology? On the other hand, we have already seen the Sakafo on Ishi in the Asuka sarcophagus, which testified to a high level of craftsmanship and precision in stonework. This leads me to the assumption that different megaliths might have been created by various cultures or even civilizations with different levels of technological development. And what do you think about this? Officially, it is believed that the megaliths of Asuka Park were created about 1,400 years ago. However, some researchers propose hypotheses about a much more ancient origin of these structures. They suggest that the megaliths might be over 10,000 years old. The lack of accurate dating methods and written records from that period make these assumptions difficult to prove, but they continue to inspire new research and discussions. The Oyo Stone Quarry has always attracted the attention of historians, archaeologists, and mystery enthusiasts. But perhaps the most exciting theory related to this place is that the quarry was originally associated with the Japanese imperial family. Imagine. Huge, impressive stones quarried from the very heart of the site were used to build temples and palaces, reflecting the power and grandeur of the rulers. These were not just stones, they were symbols meant to demonstrate the dignity of the imperial family. I already mentioned that the Oyo stone was actively used during the Heian period, a time when art, literature, and culture flourished. Overall, the unique ability of the stone to become strong and durable. Its regal appearance matched the ancient imperial concept. The Japanese believed that the stone could not only adorn buildings but also reflect astral forces, connecting the physical world with the celestial. But if we look into later periods of history, such as the Edo era, the role of the Oyo stone becomes even more significant. The shogunate, concerned with controlling resources, implemented strict measures to regulate the extraction and distribution of this material. The Oyo stone began to be actively used not only in the construction of temples, but also in the building of walls, shrines, and houses, symbolizing the power and stability of authority. And then comes the Meiji era. Railroads and new means of transportation opened new horizons for the Oyo stone. It began to be supplied in large quantities to Tokyo and Yokohama, cities experiencing rapid growth and becoming centers of new opportunities and technologies. The Oyo stone, once a symbol of power and grandeur, now became part of Japan's industrial progress. So the Oyo Stone Quarry. It's not just a place where stones are extracted. It's a site filled with history, myths, and legends. And perhaps its true significance for Japan is yet to be revealed. This megalith is also known as the stone Ishimura. A huge megalith, unexpectedly discovered in a field, looks as if it was deliberately separated from a rock and left in the open space. It doesn't fit into the surrounding landscape, as if it were a randomly forgotten fragment of an ancient engineering project. What makes it truly amazing? I'll answer: incredibly smooth surfaces, crafted with astonishing precision. Granite is a fairly reliable material. Its hardness on the Mohs scale ranges from 5 to 7, and its melting temperature exceeds 2,000 degrees in Fahrenheit. To carve such perfectly smooth planes in it is, to put it mildly, not an easy task, especially since in ancient times, people didn't have diamond cutters or laser tools. Another oddity is the characteristic angle of the cut, which seems close to 45 degrees. Moreover, the lower part of the stone contains mysterious grooves, carved with clear intent. What were they intended for? Are these traces of an ancient fastening system? Or is the stone itself part of a destroyed structure that was once dismantled? It's also curious that the shape of the stone somewhat resembles the famous Masuda no Iwafune. But if the indentations there could be used for collecting water in Ishimura, the walls at the bottom are simply not present. The water would simply flow out. So why were these indentations made? Archaeologists have no official explanations, and the stone itself was found in an open field, without any signs of processing nearby, without hints of a complex of structures around. Now a fence has been put around it, and it has become a local attraction. But by whom and for what purpose it was created? Perhaps these are traces of a technology that is lost today, or we are looking at the remnants of an ancient civilization whose design has forever remained in the past. In the middle of the Japanese village of Furusato stands a mysterious stone known as the Rock of Longevity. Was discovered by accident in 1996 when builders began work on renovating the village center. At that time, this monolithic sphere was simply obstructing the construction, and the authorities decided to remove it. The simplest way was to blow it up, but unexpectedly it turned out that the stone was indestructible. It survived several attempts to be blown up, and in the end, the idea of getting rid of it had to be abandoned. Thus, it remained in its place, becoming a local landmark and the subject of numerous debates. What makes the Rock of Longevity so unusual? First of all, its shape. It is an almost perfect stone sphere with a diameter of 22 feet and weighing about 660 US tons. But most astonishingly, on its surface, there are two distinct lines that intersect at a right angle, like the equator and meridian on a globe. They divide the megalith into 4 equal parts. This is an extremely rare phenomenon in nature. So, could nature itself have created such geometry? Or are we looking at traces of ancient craftsmanship? Scientists claim that the rock is ancient. It's simply a natural formation, created by millions of years of weathering and erosion. But why is there nothing similar in the area? Not a single similar sphere, nor traces of similar but already destroyed megaliths. Why would nature create such a perfect sphere? Right here, the stone material is granite with feldspar and quartz content. And this already raises additional questions. The fact is, granite is a very hard rock, and it's difficult to work with even using modern tools. Its melting temperature is 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit. So, if this stone was indeed worked on by ancient people, they must have had incredible technologies capable of handling such a hard rock. There are other oddities as well. In sunlight, the Ishimura stone gleams with a golden hue. This is reminiscent of a Buddhist shrine in Myanmar, the famous Kairatio Pagoda, covered in gold. Legend has it that it is held on the rock by a Buddha's hair. But what holds the Japanese megalith in place? Some researchers suggest that the sphere is not placed on the pedestal by chance. Perhaps it is part of an ancient complex or even a technological structure. There are strange indentations and grooves at the bottom of the stone, as if it was once connected to another object. Maybe it was a part of an unknown mechanism, or it was used in astronomical observations. Traditional archaeology claims that such megaliths were created by ordinary ancient people, who, according to the official version, only had stone and copper tools. But could this be true? Perhaps ancient civilizations possessed knowledge that we are not even aware of. Japan is full of mysterious megaliths that do not fit into the usual picture of history. The Rock of Longevity is just one of such megaliths. But how many more such objects are waiting to be studied and discovered? Maybe someday we will learn the truth.